This is Team Spricy Boys bringing you another top 8 profile from our ARG Valentine event at Batter Up. So, what's your name?
They call me Tim.
Alright, Tim. What place did you get today?
I got second place.
Second place. And what'd you play?
I played Soul Striker, Goku.
Soul Striker Goku. Alright, let's get into this.
Alright. So, I'm going to start off with the standard, of course, the one of Trunks. Came in clutch a few times, luckily, but nothing much to say about that. So, and then I came with the Super Combo Kais. The reason why I ran these instead of like the Gohan Sparking ones was because I run a couple of Overrealm cards. So, and I don't run many Sparking cards, so I went with these.
That makes a lot more sense. You don't want to run Sparking if you run Overrealm.
That's right. Unless you're
really defeats the purpose unless you're going to load your drop.
That's right. Or you can control your graveyard and but I'm absolutely not going to do that.
Too much effort.
That's right. Senzu Bean. Yeah.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yep.
Really good card.
And of course, mono blue, so you're going to run the Dimension Magic. Very good card. Definitely
max out one of the better negates.
That's right. Literally probably my favorite negate of the set. Set 5? Set 5. It's my favorite. Run some Fearless Pans. There's some decks I faced against today that were kind of slow, so I needed some Self-Awakening. And then there were some decks that were kind of fast, so I kind of loaded them as
Fearless Pan is one of the better Self-Awakening cards in my opinion, because it goes back to your hand instead of losing it.
That's right, and you're able to maintain hand advantage, and if you don't need it, you just out-combo.
So not only that helps you awaken, you either use it for combo power.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Or just energy.
That too. That too, yeah.
I decided to mainboard 2 Cronoas.
That seems to be like an ongoing theme today.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of Brolys out here today.
That's why
one of the scarier matchups.
Also true. I faced one today. Very close game. Very close. It literally came down to whether or not I could keep Deadly Defender Vegeta alive.
And did you win that matchup?
Absolutely. Although it was only one card left in hand. He just wasn't able to combo anything further. Kept it alive for his last attack. And that was it. I won the next turn.
Oh yeah, good stuff, man.
Yeah. I saw these in the first 2 games I faced against him. And he only ran one Shugesh though, so I was like, but I turned it off.
It didn't matter much, but it's there.
That's right.
Most people run a 2-2 split when it comes to Shugesh though.
Oh,
because
really?
of the fear of Cronoa.
That's right. Unless it's a best of 1.
Some people are pretty ballsy and run all 4, but that's another discussion for another day.
That's true. Let's see. East Kai, keeping watch. I wanted a draw engine of some sort, and that's why I had the Cronoas, but then I put 2 of these in. So these are usually either energy or first turn play. I play it, draw a card, and when my opponent plays something on my turn, a battle card, they have to put 1 card from their hand to the bottom of the deck. They came up a couple of times, surprisingly.
I would say it would work against like Pan. It could work against Shugesh as well.
That's right. Yeah. If I didn't see Cronoa, I saw this usually, so it was okay. I also faced against a Janemba deck that ran Gohans. This came up. And he played it, had to put 1 card on the bottom.
Alright, yeah, that must have sucked for him.
Oh yeah, he was like, I forgot it did that, and then he had to place 1
A lot of people forget about what those 1-drops do.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It's a very good one though. I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm running a small Sun Goten engine along with a small Trunks engine.
Any reason in particular you run this engine?
So I run it because of the Gotenks that came out in set 5. The quick thinking Gotenks. So just moving stuff around. So this is a fantastic card. It's probably my favorite card from the set.
Should have picked up my hollow.
Well, thinking about it. So these, not many people know what these do, but you play it, you take a life, and you're able to bounce 1 battle card from your opponent's side back to their hand. Doesn't matter what it is, as long as it doesn't have barrier, bounce it. And it definitely won me a game. The person played 8 Bardock, a double striker with Broly, so I knew I had to bounce it, otherwise he could just restand it for next turn and kill me with it. So I took the life, bounced it, and that's what allowed me to win that game. Sun Goten, very good early for aggro, because it's like a smaller pan. You play it, you can attack with it, it bounces to your hand at the end of the turn. These didn't come up as much, although it came up once. I popped one of the Psyche Demons, and that definitely slowed down my opponent's play. He wasn't able to go on turn 2, but on turn 3 he was able to continue. But I stopped him for 1 turn, which was very nice. I was able to gain some advantage. Of course, quick thinking Gotenks. Crit, you draw a card. When you use your fusion, you draw 2 cards. So overall, it's a fantastic card.
It replaces itself.
That's right. And it allows me to dig through the deck, and allows me to get my super combos, my pseudo combos, or just anything else that would be good against my opponent.
Alright.
Yep, Deadly Defender Vegetas. This was mostly for either the Broly matchup or the Janemba matchup. I just like this card. It just sits
Now, how
there.
that card would help you in the Janemba matchup?
Usually I just don't want them to attack my leader, because in a Janemba matchup, when I side so that way I put in more Self-Awakeners. So as long as I have this on board, and it also has Barrier. So I'd rather them attack this than my leader, because the 4-drop Janembas also have crit, and I'd rather not be dealt with it.
Alright.
Also, they can't warp this with the 4-drop Janemba either, so it stays there.
Correct, yes.
But with Broly, of course, if it's Storm Broly, just keep this on board, let it survive. That's how I won one of my games. And then one of my finishers is, of course, at all costs Vegeta.
Yeah, it's a mandatory staple in blue.
Facts.
One of the better cards.
That's
in the
right.
game.
It's fantastic. Great Self-Awaken. I didn't see it. It didn't come up as much. I was usually at 4 energy, so I wasn't able to really use this card. But when I did, though, it was great.
Most games this format doesn't really go past turn 4 or 5.
I know. That's why I'm thinking
And if
about
it does, it
moving
turns
these.
into this really weird grindy game.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, that's why I have the Deadly Defender Vegetas. And then these sadly didn't come up as much. But fantastic card to keep in, just in case you get to that 5 energy.
Alright.
Vegetos, they're like Deadly Defender, the OG Deadly Defenders. And, yeah, kind of just, if I got to 5 energy, it was nice. Other than that, it was just okay.
So 6 pretty much Deadly Defenders.
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah, mostly I was afraid of the Broly matchup, because if you have Deadly Defenders, Veggie Broly or Storm Broly, sure they can generate hand advantage, but they need to attack into those first before anything.
Correct.
And then you got Victory Strike, so if I have those on board, I don't have to worry as much until they're gone. Raging Energy Blast Gotenks.
Oh, and part of the other Gotenks package.
That's right.
So what does this card do?
So, it has critical, it's 20k. And activate main, I can place it in the drop area, I can search up to 1 Goten and 1 Trunks Youth in the deck, add them to my hand, and then untap up to 2 blue energy.
Let you search that unyielding, right?
That's right.
Making that a 1-drop play.
That's right.
Alright.
Yeah, it's a very good card, and definitely came up a lot. My opponents really had a hard time dealing with it. It was good overall.
So, in a sense, you would play that card,
That's right.
so get the youth
Yes.
combo, and then you could Union Fusion.
Into quick thinking Gotenks.
Alright, yeah.
I never did that today, but that was the play.
Does that come up often for you though?
No, it does not actually.
Sounds like an ideal dream in an ideal world.
That's true, but
But the idea is there. It
That's
can
right.
definitely help.
that's true. I did fuse into quick thinking Gotenks a lot, just not with after comboing with the Raging Energy Blast Gotenks. Let's see.
It would have been pretty spicy.
Right? Let's see. Yes, of course, the pseudo combos. It was good because, with the leader, just untap an energy or 2, depending if you're awakened or not, and you just leave it. It just helps. Deck thin, save yourself. Not much to explain there.
Of course, one of the really good cards from what's that from? Like set 3, I believe.
Yeah, set 3.
Set 3. One of the really good cards in set 3.
Yeah.
Still sees play today.
Yeah, and it will probably continue to see play, no matter what format it is.
Correct.
And then, of course, my 2 Overwhelm cards.
Alright.
Yep, Supreme Kai of Time, just Overwhelm 3. Give this a 5k boost, draw a card. So I was like, oh, okay. Now, of course, the Scientist Fu as a finisher. Or if I really needed a draw 2, I would use it.
Okay.
Yep. I mostly saw this one more than this one, but this one in itself is really good.
Now, is there anything you would change in your main deck?
I would keep the 2 Overwhelm cards because the deck does draw a lot, but I think the one thing that would really change is probably take out the Vegetos. They weren't that great, and you know, never really got the 5 energy, never drew, and if I saw it, I usually charged it, so I probably don't know what I'd replace it with, but I might replace it with probably more of the 1-drop Gotenks, because there were some matches where I really needed the aggressiveness, but I didn't see any pans, and I saw more of the green Gotenks, so it was that Janemba match was a little rough, sadly.
Okay.
And then pseudo combos, while they are good, I'm still always on the board with them. Because sometimes they clutter my hand, and against a Janemba matchup, it's not something you really want to see if they're milling you a lot.
Something you might want to side out.
Exactly. And I did side them out, or at least like 2 of them.
Speaking of sides, what was your side today?
Alright, so my side, it's not in sleeves, because I ran out of sleeves, I couldn't sleeve them. So, let's see, the 2 Whis for extremely aggressive aggro decks. Just needed more negates. 1 Cronoa, since I main board 2, just in case they're heavy on Shugesh, I have the 1 extra. 3 Mass Sand for Shenron, mostly, and Pan. And also for Janemba, because if I really needed to awaken, I would side these in, just so I can awaken, because I'd have Deadly Defender out, and then if they attack
That card's really good in the veggie matchup.
That's right.
It's still good against Broly if they try to Shugesh you. Pan. It has very multi-purpose use on the side.
That's true, but I'm mostly for Shenron, and and Broly, and yeah, that's it.
Mostly hand control Shenron. They're the ones who run Child Wish the most.
Yes, that's true. And I did side it against them.
What's it called? OTK Shenron don't really like to run Child Wish.
Yeah, that's also true. They just, Gogeta.
Even though I believe Child's Wish variants of Shenron are just so much more.
Yeah, you just get so much more value.
Alright.
Let's see. Kami's, mostly for Broly Storm. I never sided this at all, though, because they usually kept their board at 3, and I was able to deal with their board most of the time, and it just never came up. But it's still a good card to side in, because I never did face a Broly Veggie, so that would have definitely been a card I would have sided in against that matchup. Haru, Attacker Majin. Mostly for Broly. Literally only Broly.
Yeah, a lot of Broly hate.
Yep, because Shugesh, and I know Broly. I do have a somewhat harder time against Broly, but if I'm able to like keep up and draw cards and keep him at a pace where he's losing hand advantage and I'm gaining hand advantage, it's not so bad.
Broly's just one of the scarier decks in the format.
Exactly. And so is Janemba. I do have a hard time against Janemba. And for me, I didn't really have a side for Janemba. I was hoping my deck was able to like basically outpace Janemba, but alas, it was not that great.
It does happen.
Yeah, I know. It's rough, but what can you do? It wasn't that bad, though. Almost got him. Like, all 3 games were really close, but he ended up winning, so. But yeah, really good against Broly. Unless it gets Cold Bloodlust, then it really sucks.
Yeah, because then you tap yourself out.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, but that's why I have the leader, to tap some blue energy back in.
Soul Striker's auto is just, I believe, still really good.
Absolutely. I don't, like Borgos, didn't have a problem with Borgos, but that's why I sided these in just in case he came up.
The 3 Crisis Cuts for Son Goku?
Yep.
That's one of my favorite black cards.
Yes, it's really good. Like, reduce its cost by 1, and it's 5k, so if you really needed to attack with it and use like a super combo, you can. It's free energy.
Most of the time you won't, but...
Yeah, most of the time you won't, but if it ever came up, it's 5k instead of like the East Kai, which was 4k, which was kind of
really weird number.
But yeah, this was good. I sided it against a one Janema match, mostly for Borgos, but he had played the Psyche Demon, and I played this after and blew it up. It was a good time.
All right, man. Well, thanks for the profile.
Absolutely.